Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Max.
And this is Movies Actually, where we take a look at the films we messed with on Maybe Movies and give you our honest opinions of them.
After looking at The Lost Boys in episode 1, it should be no surprise that on this one we will be looking at The Karate Kid. And that's obviously the original, not the 2010 remake.
This is one of those movies that's got a special place in my heart. I actually spent a couple of years studying Taekwondo, which is a Korean martial art. When I was about 10 and a half, I started doing that. And that was a thing I did because I was being bullied. My mum insisted that I had to go and learn how to stick up for myself. So a year and a half later, when The Karate Kid came out, it was like somebody was writing a little bit about my life. Real special place for me.
And I was the other way around. Not really so much problems with bullies, but it was because of this that I got into doing the first martial arts that I studied, which was judo.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because that's all we could find that was available in Wyndham, where I grew up at the time.
There was only Taekwondo available in Norwich at the time.
Yeah, but it was very much inspired by watching this. Curiously enough, so this came out 22nd of June 1984, which is 2 days before my 10th birthday.
Oh, all right. Judiciously timed.
Yes, but like a lot of things, we didn't see this until it would have been sort of 85.
Yeah, when it came out on video. Yeah, same here.
I can't remember how much of a time delay there was sort of between films coming out in the US at the time and over here.
I remember it used to be something like 3 to 6 months, depending on what the movie was. And then, of course, the 6 or 9 months afterwards to wait for it to come out on video.
Yes.
So it would have been about a year afterwards.
But, I mean, at its core, The Karate Kid is the story of Daniel LaRusso and his mum, Lucille, who travel from Newark in New Jersey to California, to Reseda, which I'm assuming is in LA.
I think so. I think it's in the greater LA metropolitan area.
Yeah. To start a new life. And it's about the friends and enemies that Daniel meets along the way as he tries to find a new home for himself.
Yes. And of course, making a new friend in the iconic Mr. Miyagi,
who I think for an entire generation is the mentor that we all wish that we had had.
Yes, it's very much an absent father figure type role. Every time I watch it, I get reminded how much of a father figure he is to Daniel in that movie.
Absolutely. And even at the time, it was seen as quite a forward-thinking thing about that sort of intergenerational friendship thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure I read somewhere, it was a review or something, or an article somewhere about it, saying that moment when Daniel turns to him and says, "You're my best friend," it's so genuine. There's nothing false in his delivery of that line, or even in the connotation of the line itself.
I see what you mean. Yeah. No, it's a very genuine moment. It really is, and I'd never really thought about it in those terms of intergenerational friendship. But yes, it is.
For me, I mean, I suppose if we move on a couple of years, certainly by the time we get to Karate Kid 2, when I would have been a couple of years older, I played on that one for a while because in my teenage years there was a similarity.
Oh, right. Okay.
And a lot of the girls at school kind of like,
nothing wrong with that.
No.
Nothing wrong with that.
Thank you, Ralph Macchio.
So, is this a good movie? Yes, it is. It is a good movie. Does it have flaws? Yeah, absolutely. And certainly with hindsight, things that were okay or acceptable in the 80s might seem out of place now. But it is important to remember that when it was made, those were normal things. It's only got a few flaws as a film.
Okay. Such as, I mean, I must admit, nothing immediately springs to mind.
All right, well, the biggest one is that he learns to be a championship-level karate expert in just under 6 weeks.
Yes.
That is stretching credulity. I mean, you can learn a hell of a lot of martial arts in that time, especially if you're studying every day like he was. But championship level? That's quite a stretch.
That is quite a stretch. And, I mean, considering how little they know of the tournament structure and system.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Miyagi knew nothing, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's only studied the one form of karate. So just to go up against the various styles that are in the tournament.
Yeah.
No, that bit I'd agree. Yeah, absolutely. Some of the things that I liked about it, and some of the things that I think I appreciate more as I'm older, is little, and they're very kind of subtle, not digs. They're just highlighting certain things, like the article that he finds in the paper about the government moving all of the Japanese to a specific area.
Oh yes, about the internment camps and stuff.
Things like that, while he was off fighting for the government.
That all went over my head when I was a kid.
Yeah, but even when you watch it now, it doesn't labour the point. It's not like, look how terrible these people were for doing this thing.
No, it's just there.
It's there. It's an anecdote, and it's a fact of history, and you can take from that what you want, and the film allows you to draw your own conclusion and take what you want away from it.
Yes.
It hasn't. There's no mandate there about what you should think about this, and that's
refreshing in this day and age.
Yes, absolutely, it is. But I mean, at its core, it's a film that champions the ideas of courage, perseverance, restraint.
Yes, that is the one thing. I mean, Daniel's such a hothead in that movie, and the one thing I think he does actually teach him in the end is restraint. Mm-hmm. Even though in future films he continues to slip on that path, at least within the narrative, it shows him learning the instead of being hot-headed and doing rash things, in the end he makes a calm decision about what to do next.
Yes, and that at the time, obviously when it came out, because it's still technically it's a Cold War era.
Oh
film,
yeah, absolutely.
Was I think what all of us wanted. It was at a time when films were a lot more aspirational than they are now.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good way of putting it. Yeah,
and that's something everyone, especially as a kid, you always wanted something that allowed you to think big.
Yeah, think big, try harder, be more.
Yes.
Those were all very big ideas in the 80s. And this is a really good example of it, because it's not gung-ho or jingoistic about it.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
It's about individual self-improvement, rather than the sort of nationalistic thing that drove a lot of other movies at the time.
Which is always quite nice, again, in the world that we live in today, with Cobra Kai now on its fourth season.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that they've had to almost turn the story on its head to be applicable to a modern audience. We see it initially from Johnny's point of view, not from Danny's.
Absolutely.
To get to the same place, which is...
But it informs the way you watch the movie. I mean, like the very first scene when they arrive on the beach, and he's talking about it's his final year, and he's got 1 year to make it, and his life's all ready for him, and then it just all falls apart.
Yeah.
It just all falls apart. And of course in Cobra Kai we get to see the results of that.
As a franchise, it's one of those rare ones that really does and has stood the test of time.
Yes, it does.
From a film like so many others at that time, it wasn't a film that was designed to be a trilogy.
No. You can tell that straight off the bat.
But they do manage to make it work. Each of the films...
Oh yeah, they do have a progression. I have sore spots with number 3, but yeah,
definitely. But then again, unfortunately, by that point, it was a case of the dollar.
Oh yeah, the almighty dollar. Yes, of course.
In terms of how this impacts, or how we came to it with regards to what we do with maybe movies, this is really where it started. It was while watching Cobra Kai. Not Cobra Kai. It's because I was watching it earlier. While I was watching The Karate Kid, which I hadn't seen for a long time, and it was just those first couple of minutes at the start when you see their journey across America, and I was watching it, and my head just went, "What if he didn't go to Reseda? What if he went to Santa Carla?" And then that's...
And here we are.
Yes, basically. But yes, as Sam says, do go and check this out if you've never seen it. I mean, again, over the past couple of years with the popularity that Cobra Kai has, I'd be very surprised if there's not, or rather, I'd be very surprised if there's a lot of people who haven't taken the time to go back and see this. I mean, this was on Netflix again last year.
I would hope so. But if you haven't, go check it out. It's definitely worth your time.
Absolutely. I think that's about all I had to say about it.
I think that just about covers it. So, Karate Kid, thumbs up.
2 thumbs up, as always. Please do come back and join us next month, where we will be getting into what was month 2 of Maybe Movies. And that will be, I don't know, we haven't decided yet. It will either be The Secret of Nim or Watership Down. Which one do you want to terrify, or would you drag up the nightmares of your childhood?
I'd like to get Watership Down out of the way first. I'd like to get that one out of the way first, because it's harsh. It's harsh.
Bunny! I know, that's Nightmare Before Christmas. Anyway, yes, thank you for stopping by and joining us for these again. As always, I mean, obviously, if you're watching this as a patron, thank you for your support. And if you're watching this when it goes out on the main channel, then all the usual, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content.
As always, guys, TTFN.